Texas is trying to go bowling in Lawrence. What do the Longhorns have to do to keep Charlie strong? Plus, one of the classiest moves you'll ever see. Where do Romo and the Cowboys go next on College Crossfire? I guess we'll get into it, guys. Always enthusiastic, unbelievable, hard-nosed.
Rolled up the sleeves for this one.
This Dallas team was very overrated from the start, like they always are every year.
The talent there, Tevin Mack, Eric Davis, and Cohen Roach are maybe three of the most talented guys on the team.
Oh, that's an ugly shirt. Always a pleasure having you on, guys.
Time to freak out, Reese.
Time to freak out indeed. Welcome into your home for live sports debate. This is College Crossfire. I'm your host, Reese Miller. 2 shows left in the semester, and I have to say, guys, one of the most exciting panels, at least for me as a host, to have on this year. It's we'll call you guys the TSTV group of leaders, maybe the TSTV deacons. Why not? We've got Aaron Bicart, Mr. Sports Director himself. Aaron, good to have you on.
Sports director.
Well, sports director, station manager. Well, I feel like,
you know, I could step in if Alyssa ever needed me. I'd be happy to help.
It just kind of goes down the line. Don't worry. Not stepping on any toes. But you know, you like to have your hands on things, so I just
every once in a while I'll make a guest appearance on the shows.
Kyle Summers, this is your studio. Proud to have you in it instead of telling us what to do with it today. So it's good to have you.
Very different.
Yeah, a little weird. It looks good though. It fits you. And the man who makes everything work around here. If we've ever had any sort of technical issue, this is the guy who's figured it out. Connor Lewis, how are you, my friend?
I'm good. Glad to be here.
Ready for some sports hot takes from each of you? I'm ready for it, guys. Let's go ahead and get into it. We're going to go ahead and assume that Texas is going to win in Lawrence. Well, we can try to do that, guys. Texas has not lost to Kansas in 13 straight contests. Kansas is 1-9, and they haven't beaten a Big 12 team in 19 straight conference games, guys. So Texas should get that 6th win this weekend. That would move them into bowl eligibility. Guys, what bowl do you think they'll get this season? Definitely not the bowl games we thought maybe after week 1 or week 2, but they'll still go bowling. What games do you think they'll be in, Aaron?
Well, I didn't see us in the college football playoff rankings this week, so I guess that's out of the question. I'm going to go with the Cactus Bowl. I think that's where we're going to be at.
That's nice.
We're going to fall somewhere in the the Longhorns at least are going to fall somewhere 5, 6, or 7. That could be the Armed Forces Bowl maybe. It could be the Liberty Bowl, but I think the Cactus is where we're going to end up playing some sort of Pac-12 team in a heck of a shootout.
Yeah.
A lot of offense.
That'd be fun. Kind of like
that'd be fun. Get your road trip
State,
out.
Texas Tech.
Yeah, Arizona State is probably one of the teams we'll play. I'm excited to get a road trip out to the Grand Canyon.
That'd be fun. Just some destination, right? No Texas
I
Bowl. No more Houston. No
Armed
more.
Forces Bowl in Dallas-Fort Worth. The last thing I need to do is go back to Dallas.
It'd be a short drive from. You're wearing a map shirt underneath there, so don't bad talk them too much. Kyle, where are the Longhorns gonna go bowling?
So here's the thing. It doesn't matter as long as I get invited to go film the game.
Wow, for sports?
For sports.
For sports.
For sports.
Wow.
For sports. That's the ultimate answer.
Okay, you're getting booed. I can hear our producer from in here booing you. So any particular bowl, any destination you'd like them to get?
San Antonio's close by.
San Antonio is also lame. And moving on to Connor, your side. I can hear more boos. Connor, where do you think the Longhorns are going to go?
You know, Reese, much like that goldfish that your mom got you when you were probably about 10 years old, I think we're headed straight towards the toilet bowl.
Nice.
Man!
Here in Texas, we're in a state where football is king, and Charlie's been here for 3 years, and I think, especially after that first game of the season, we should have ended up somewhere much better than where we're going to be.
Wow. So so where do you stand on? Well, I guess I'm getting ahead of myself here. I'll wait till the next question. The toilet bowl. I think the Cactus Bowl, Liberty Bowl is probably more realistic, but the toilet bowl, if it were an option, I think after the start, especially midseason, I think you could see Texas going there. Connor's getting the points, guys, for the toilet bowl. Moving on to the subject that Connor led me into, Charlie Strong and his job security, guys. If Texas wins against Kansas, they'll be 6-5, playing against TCU for what could be the game that says Charlie stays or Charlie goes. That would move them to either 6-6 or 7-5. Many think that 7-win mark is the mark Charlie has to reach to stay on the 40 acres, guys. Even if Charlie wins out, he would still be 19-19. That includes a bowl win, 16-19, basically after 3 years, guys. So, Kyle, how do Mike Perrin and Greg Finvis evaluate Charlie at the end of this year? And I guess a lot of it rides on that TCU game.
Well, let me start off by saying, unfortunately, I think Strong is gone at the end of this year.
Wow.
Now, I hate that because I absolutely believe that he needs to stay, and we need to keep building because there's success to be had. But just like Connor said, here in Texas, football is king.
That's right.
So we had some good wins in the beginning, but UT has just not been performing that well lately.
Yep, gotta have wins at the big programs, right? Connor, I hear you have some very hot opinions on Mr. Strong, so let's hear them.
Yeah, I think if he doesn't win his last game of the season here, there's no chance of him staying. Unfortunately, sorry guys. What to judge him on though? I would say he has done better this season than the previous two that he's been here. Started off with a big win at the beginning of the season. However, I think that might have hurt him in the long run because there was a lot of momentum. I know being at the game, first game of the year, I was super pumped that we won, and then it's kind of just been downhill.
Yeah. That certainly set the bar a little higher, even though Notre Dame is, of course, now 4-6 or wherever they sit. Certainly at the time, it felt huge. Aaron, where do you think Strong sits, and where do you think the men above him sit?
I would love for Charlie Strong to stay. I'll be open about that. I think he should stay. I think he's built a program here and built a team that believes in him. The Longhorns have not fired a coach before 4 years since the 1940s. I think it'd be a mistake to do it again. We've seen a long track record of us giving coaches a chance, a pretty long leash their first 4 years. So I think he's going to get the win against TCU, and I think he's going to stay. I think if he loses that game, we should not fire him. The Longhorns shouldn't fire him, but I think external pressure might push it over the top.
Maybe give him a chance
I
in the
want to
bowl
see them.
game.
I want to see him get a chance in the bowl game. I want to see because every time these stories get leaked, all the reports are the players love him, the players love him, the players love him. So
yeah, there's no question watching games that this team has improved drastically, especially defensively since he took over, and they haven't been blown out really once this year. I will say TCU, the only team that Charlie Strong has not beaten in the Big 12, and it may be the game he needs most going forward. And I think you're getting the point. I think if he gets that win, he'll be allowed to stay because we have seen so much improvement so far, guys. Speaking, well, I guess we'll go from football to Texas basketball. The Longhorns are off to a 2-0 start. Has been a little shaky season opener. Incarnate Word actually took a 1-point lead with just under 3 minutes to go, guys. They did come out of that game with a win, also beat Louisiana Monroe on Monday. 6 players now are averaging in double figures, guys, but still obviously some concerns. It's a bit of a week out of conference schedule, so we may not find out a ton. But Connor, what do you think of this team right now, ranked 23rd in the country?
After or during rather the first game, I think they were looking a little bit shaky. They lost a 18-point lead to a team that's only been Division I for 3 years, and I think it really shook them up and kind of got some more enthusiasm going. And their second game of the season, they played a lot more like a team. They're a young team, and I think they started to realize that they need to work together, and they can't get complacent when they have a big lead because that can get taken away real quick.
For sure. Also, Kerwin Roach and Tevin Mack in that game on Monday weren't there last Friday. But don't mess with the Word, man. Do not mess with the Incarnate Word, Aaron. What do you think about this Texas?
yeah, I'm with Connor. I was real nervous watching that opening game, but I think watching the adjustments that Smart made in the second game, you watched their defense get better. You watched them shoot a little bit better, not much. Still, our three-point shooting is shaky, but I was pretty impressed with that team being able to gut out the win against Incarnate Word, as disappointing as it may look on the scoreboard afterwards. But getting the W is all that matters. You don't want to be UConn and be 0-2 to some 2 FCS teams that nobody cares about.
Yeah, for sure. Basketball normally being like UConn would be a good thing.
Yeah.
Not so
Yeah,
much
not this year yet.
Kyle, what do you think?
Here's the thing. A win is a win. So a little shaky, but our defense is starting to, we've seen some improvement. We just got to get those points on the board. We got to get those 3 shots in the net. Then should be
Just
good.
3 shots?
Should be
Wow.
good. The
Three
3
shots.
pointers.
So
3 pointers.
3
individual
shots.
There's 6
I don't know.
points. That's all I need. 6 points, and then we're done.
Normally win you a game.
The 3 pointers.
The 3-pointers. Hard logic to argue with, honestly. But I am going to go with Aaron with the back-to-back points. I think Texas will improve, and certainly we'll learn a lot more about them in their games coming up. They'll play Northwestern, could play Notre Dame in that tournament on Monday, and then Michigan later on in non-conference. Guys, that'll do it for round 1. Up next, the saddest non-retirement speech and possibly weirdest you will ever hear. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to College Crossfire. So glad you're spending your Wednesday night with us. Just 2 more opportunities to do that in this fall semester of 2016. Guys, quick look at the scoreboard. Station manager himself, not the sports director, but station managers got the hook 'em, got the 2 points early. Kyle, still a goose egg so far, but a couple rounds to go, plenty of time. And Connor Lewis riding that strong early point from the fishbowl, riding the guppies to the win here for Connor Lewis tonight. Guys, let's go ahead and get into round 2. Yesterday, Tony Romo called a press conference to make a statement in which he submitted Dak Prescott earned the right to be the Cowboys' starting QB going forward. Romo said it was possibly the darkest place he may have ever been in his career, guys. What does this do for the Cows, and ultimately what does it mean for Tones Romes and really the Cowboys going forward?
I think that this was the right move for Tony Romo to make. There's kind of no other thing he can do. If he wasn't going to get to play, he was kind of stuck. So I think this is the right move. I think the Cowboys shouldn't trade him because you never know what's going to happen. It's a long season. There's still 6 games, 5 games left. So I don't think they should trade him. Keep him on the roster. Maybe you'll need him as a backup, and he's the best backup quarterback you could possibly have if you're the Cowboys. Most expensive, too. But, yeah, they should keep him, not trade him. Next year, maybe after he gets the ring this year, he can run off and try and
Wow, so
play his old man game with like Peyton Manning and go pick up a team.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
I'd be about that. Kyle, what do you think?
So being from Dallas, it hurts me a little bit to say, but I think Romo might need to be done. And after this, he's graciously passed on this torch. He should go into coaching and being that figure.
Wow.
To help mold young quarterbacks alike.
You don't think he's got anything left in the tank? 2
2
years ago, he's pretty good.
He's just been hurt so often.
He has been hurt a lot.
He's been hurt so often.
For sure. Yeah. All right. What do you think?
I don't think the Cowboys have anything to worry about. They're 8-1 right now,
Yeah, 8
which
games in a row.
Past few seasons that they've had with Romo, they've been about that, maybe a little bit better, sometimes a little bit worse. And so I don't think they have anything to worry about unless Dak gets hurt. However, for Romo, he said it's his darkest time, but I think it could get worse for him if he gets picked up by somewhere like where all quarterbacks go to end a terrible career, the Cleveland Browns, or baseball. But yeah, I was impressed by the speech that he gave. I thought it was humbling to pass on the torch like that.
Yeah, truly classy. That's what it felt like, a passing of the torch. I mean, he said his competitive fire burns brighter maybe now than ever. So I certainly don't think he's done as a starting QB in this league, but certainly his time at the Cowboys appears to be done. Aaron, I think you're getting the 3rd straight point here. I still think he's got plenty of magic, Romo Jedi magic left in the tank. He's going somewhere next year, and he's going to get on a run just like Peyton, guys. To the hardwood of the NBA, we have Draymond Green saying he's one of the most underrated, or we'll call it best players in the NBA, guys. He has claimed for quite a while. He's so underrated. Guys, in your opinion, who is the most underrated player in the NBA? I mean, Draymond is the 4th option on that team now. He's been the 3rd option. Maybe not getting the credit he deserves, but who do you think is the most underrated, Kyle?
Listen, if you're going to talk about the NBA and underrated moments, you have to remember 20 years ago on this day, On this day, the Monsters lost a 66
Oh my God,
to
he's doing
18
Space
point
Jam.
halftime lead to Michael Jordan and the Toons squad.
Oh.
You can't forget that. You can't forget that. As far as him being the most underrated player in the league, now I mean that it takes kind of a big head to say that. I don't necessarily agree with it, but I'm just trying to remind us, these are the things we should be thinking about.
History.
The
Sports
history.
history. I like that. Some tradition. We need more
18
tradition
point,
on this show.
Space Jam.
Just like the Toons. The Toons of
the
Looney.
Toon Squad.
Connor, where do you stand on the most underrated player? Maybe we should do a most underrated Looney Tune, but we'll start with the NBA player.
Well, first off, I have to say that him considering himself the self-proclaimed most valuable player potentially in the NBA is a bit big-headed, as Kyle said. For the most underrated player, I would have to go with the entire Cavs team that wasn't LeBron James after their finals win. Because all of the reporters, the question over and over was, how did it feel for you to be on the court with LeBron James?
Yeah.
Not how did it feel for you to win. That didn't matter. It was how did it feel for you to play with someone so great.
Wow, not a lot of LeBron love. I'm feeling the LeBron salt a little bit. Aaron, where do you stand on this?
Well, I think if the question is the most underrated player in the NBA right now, I'm gonna get so much hate from these people over here, but I think it's Chris Paul. The Clippers have been fantastic this year. When you think about the All-Star point guards out of the Western Conference. Even Damian Lillard has been getting a lot more love than Chris Paul has this year. Chris Paul has been a great leader on this team. Just saw a fantastic Instagram video yesterday of him lob citying with his kids. I love Chris Paul. I think he's having a great year this year.
Yeah. Caden Kennard would be very happy with that answer.
I'm sure.
might be the best team in the West, at least right now. I love that answer, but I love the reference to Looney Tunes more. Any reference to Looney Tunes when we're talking to NBA, that will get it. And Kyle,
Oh my God.
guys. Keep it on the rails here. We're
On
moving
the board.
College football, we go. The rankings change for the third straight week. It is now Alabama, Ohio State, Michigan, and Clemson, your top four. After two of those teams lost, Washington also suffered a loss this weekend. Louisville sits at 5, Washington at 6, guys on the outside looking in. So we'll go ahead and say fast forward to the end of the season, and just pretty simple here. Who are your top 4 teams playing for a title? Connor?
Definitely not Texas.
He already said they're in the toilet bowl, guys.
I think I would have to go with Alabama, Ohio State, Louisville, and Clemson.
Wow.
I'm going to
Michigan.
push Michigan out because the last 3 or 4 games that they've won have been against just mediocre teams. And their schedule, I mean, they have Ohio State towards the end of it. Not looking too good in that game.
And lost their quarterback.
And lost their quarterback. So I definitely don't think they're in the top 4.
Yeah, going to be tough. Losing a lot after this year, too. Aaron, what do you think? Who's your top 4?
Well, I definitely don't think it's going to be Ohio State or 2 ACC teams. I'm going to go with the 4 teams that right now have who have control of their own destiny. That's going to be Alabama. It's going to be Washington. It's going to be Clemson, and it's going to be Michigan.
Wow, Michigan. You still got Michigan in there.
I still got Michigan
beating
because
Ohio State.
if they lose to Ohio State, Penn State's in that Big Ten West spot for the title game.
It's chaos.
Michigan wins that game. Michigan's already in.
Right.
So
yeah.
I think Michigan
could open let's say Louisville lose. I know no one wants to hear that here, but let's say Louisville loses to Houston, Washington
Lord help us
loses
all.
again, and OU is creeping in. They've been playing really well. Their strength of schedule's going straight up to. I actually kind of like Connor. I'm feeling your Final Four there. I think Michigan loses. Sorry, Connor, Kyle. I'm hearing what you're having to say. What's your Final Four?
Okay, so there's a lot to be said about hope. So, in this hope, at the top is going the University of Texas. Only to be closely followed.
Team Charlie,
only
over
to
here.
be closely followed by the University of North Texas, and then University of Texas Arlington, and then University of Texas San Antonio.
Wow.
That's how it's going.
So you got UNT.
It's hope.
Let me just tell you that UTA Arlington, last time I checked, does not have a football team.
That is correct. They do not.
We're talking
I'm
about
pretty sure they still
hope
don't have a football
and
team.
support in the state schools.
For the hope. I mean, there's other schools. There's like
UTEP.
Baylor, TCU, UTEP,
Listen.
Rice,
Baylor, nowhere in the name has Texas.
SMU might make a bowl game.
SMU also does not have Texas.
Texas Christian.
in the-
Yeah.
Texas El Paso.
Yeah. There's a lot of. I mean, there's just a lot of Texas schools that actually have a football team. That's all we're saying. Connor's getting the points, guys. Going to break. Great stuff overall coming up. We will line up rapid fire and decide a winner. Create one. Did you guys see? Because they came out with the New Orleans baby cakes last night. Welcome back to. It is time for rapid fire. No spoilers ever on the show. We thank you for keeping it here. Most exciting part of my first day, I know it's yours, guys. So far, a fairly tight, fun contest with the station manager himself. We've got the head of the studio and the head of everything technological that we don't understand. Scoreboard is 3-1-2, guys. Let's go ahead and get into it. People Magazine came out with their annual sexiest man alive, and it was Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Sports tie here. He did play football at Miami, and he's an awesome guy. So keeping it related back to Texas, guys, what current Longhorn would you have as the sexiest horn alive on the cover of a Texas magazine? Got to be a player. Got to be a player.
It's got to be Malik Jefferson. That toothy smile. I love it.
Malik Strong.
Dude, yeah, I'm in.
Malik
Malik
Strong.
Jefferson.
Listen, the
Kyle's getting heckled.
the leader of all players is Charlie Strong, and it's got to
be a player.
It's
I will
got
not
to be
accept Charlie.
Strong.
Got to be
Do
a
you
player.
know a player?
Do you know any players? Do you know any players?
Give me a player name, and I'll tell you if I know them.
Dylan Haynes.
I know him. Dylan Haynes
That's
is
my write-in
answer.
vote. That's my write-in vote. Connor, what do you think?
I think I'm gonna have to go with Foreman.
Wow, Deonta Foreman. Gosh, that's good. Do we have any write-in votes for Kyle?
Jess.
Any write-in votes? We gotta go. Write-in votes. Sexiest player alive.
Number 44.
You lost.
Okay.
I would have given the points to Dylan Haynes, but it's got to be Malik Jefferson. Yeah,
know.
got to be
Charlie
Malik
Strong.
Jefferson.
Charlie Strong.
Heisman, but Malik's
Cute dude.
he's got the teeth in there. So cute. Love that. All right, guys, moving on. Iowa upset Michigan. Fans stormed the field after the game, and, well, their coach got back to the locker room and realized he did not have any helmets. Lost about 15 helmets from the field that random fans and players came onto the field. They took them back to their dorm, apartment, or whatever. So let's say just for fun, for once, Texas lets students like us storm the field. We get to steal some items, get our hands on some stuff. What would you steal?
It's got to be Dante Foreman's missing shoe from that touchdown
From the
run. I wanna
wow,
snag
for the
that,
tech game, get the
snag
shoe.
that and run right across
Wow,
the
a
field.
lot of love for the state.
Yeah.
I mean, you're the station manager. You're getting a lot of love.
Whatever makes
That's how it works. That's how it works.
That's nice.
It's no, the correct answer is what you put the ball on when you punt it. What's that little
tee?
A tee.
I mean, you can just buy one of those for like
no,
$4.
no.
I mean, they're super cheap.
University of Texas official
I don't
tee.
think. I think the Big 12 brings those with
Listen,
them.
I'm storming the
I mean,
field.
I don't think it's like a unique thing.
I'm storming the field. The first thing I'm taking is that tee.
What if it's not on the field because they only put it on there for like the kickoff?
Listen, I'm storming the field at kickoff.
I would love to see that. Connor, what are you getting? I mean, you got so many. I'm sure you can have some drone that can just program and
Oh,
fly it in there
absolutely.
anyway.
I actually already have all their helmets.
Wow.
He took the helmets.
I think I would go with Charlie Strong's turtleneck right off of his back.
Wow. Just take it. You know what?
Sexy.
I'm supporting that answer just so we can finally see like the muscle gut that he's got underneath there. It's like kind of ab, kind of, not. I don't know. Maybe he's the sexiest man alive.
Maybe he is.
telling
I
you.
don't know. So
That's point
Connor
two.
is getting the 2 points, guys. Final question. We go, two are still eligible for the win. We'll make this one worth 3 points. The New Orleans Zephyrs are now formerly the New Orleans Z's. They came out yesterday and said they are now the New Orleans Baby Cakes. AAA baseball team here, guys. Actually in the PCL, in the same division as the Round Rock Express right down the road. So you can see the Baby Cakes come here in town, guys. The question is, we're going to give you the responsibility of renaming a minor league baseball franchise.
I'm gonna go with the. Oh man, this is a tough one. I'd go with the Austin River Cats. I love
Cats.
throwing those like two random adjectives, slap them together.
River
the
Cats.
River Cats.
Putting
Let's
Austin
do it.
Listen, as
Like carpet dogs. Like you
Yeah,
think,
yeah,
Just
that's
think
right.
like desk kitties or
Yep.
something like that.
Yep,
It's
yep,
like
yep.
one random
have-
item and one animal.
We have a river
two
in the
cards.
city.
Yeah.
Cats are a common
Like-
theme.
Side
River
frogs or
cats.
something like that?
Austin River
Yeah.
Cats, yeah.
yeah,
Wow.
Oh, River Bats. What am I doing? Austin River Bats. There we go.
That's actually really good.
Austin River Bats.
That's good. That's appropriate.
listen, the entire internet would support this team name. Sporty McSportface. That's the team name. That's it. That's your team name.
But
It doesn't
so-
matter where you are.
What city just?
So
Any city,
like-
all the cities.
So, but are they the Sporty McSport faces?
Sporty McSportface.
or the Sporty McSport Facers?
What's their mascot?
It's
Sporty?
just like a giant head. Just
Is
like-
it what is he called like? That's
Yes.
actual Sporty McSport face.
That's him, yeah.
Okay. Connor, what's?
I'm gonna have to go with the Texas Tasmanian Devils.
Wow. Texas Tasmanian Devils. Tell you what, those are pretty strong answers. I like the idea of combining a random item.
That's
with
how it's done. That's how
another
they got
item.
baby cakes. Are you kidding
The
me?
problem with Aaron's though is it's
Like
inherently
a food
flawed,
item? You could do
because
like adult fries?
Yeah.
cats don't like water though.
Well, he did say bats.
You did say bats.
Bats.
You did
say
We got the
bats.
bats and Austin.
Tell you what, I'm having a tough time
internet is on
deciding
my
between
side,
you two
so-
guys, so I'm going to give the points to Kyle. He does not win it all. Aaron, you had a big enough lead going in.
Yes,
You are the
finally.
college Crossfire champion. Only appropriate that you are the station director, and he's the station director, so I'm guessing that he does have time for FaceTime. So the floor is yours.
I didn't have anything planned. I've been the last.
Wow, unprepared.
The last two times I've been on this show, I haven't won. I want to give a shout out to our sports department, Twitter pages, and Facebook pages. You should follow us on social media. The sports department has been doing a fantastic job this year covering games. They're covering live events. So follow them. Get all the updates you need from the Horns all year round.
Wow,
That's why I use my
like
face.
that.
I'm a company man.
A little promotional.
I gotta use my
Little
FaceTime
promotion.
for.
That's why he's the head guy in charge, of course. But great job to all of you. You do so much for the station. You're the reason, Kyle, that we have this awesome studio. And Connor, let's face it, we would not be on the air if it weren't for you.
We might not be on the air right now.
Yeah, probably, you might not be on the air because you're in
knows?
here.
Got it.
I'm a little concerned, but if you're watching, we certainly thank you. That you did. Another week is down in the books for College Crossfire. Just 1 week left to go. We certainly hope you'll join us. A big thanks to all these awesome panelists and everyone in studio, Master Control at home for making this thing happen. Again, follow us on Twitter at TSTV. Sports TSTV Game Day has an event tomorrow night. Make sure to check that out and make sure to tune in again in 2 weeks. We're off next week for Thanksgiving break. Until then, I'm Reese Miller. Have a good night.